My Hairiest Adventure is, if anything, an interesting title. What happens when you start to grow a little too much hair? What, that doesn't sound scary to you? Roll the showcase. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my stuff. A new year means new opportunities. Maybe we can reach monetization. In any case, first is the original Jacobus cover. Poor Larry here on the cover seems to be turning into Cornelius from Planet of the Apes. As you can see with the 2000s reprint, we're actually zoomed out for once, and the slime was made this gross brown and purple combo. Our taglines are, "It keeps growing and growing and growing." The back tagline is, "He's having a really, really bad hair day." Wait, why wasn't that the title? Oh wait. Last thing I have is the UK cover. This one actually shows off the Insta-Tan bottle, something actually plot relevant. But let's move past these covers and get into the summary. Larry Boyd is today's goose boy who's fed up with all the stray dogs in his town. They always chase after him, and he makes sure to clarify that he isn't scared of dogs unless they're chasing him as a group. So now, with his guitar case flailing behind him, he's got a fresh pack of dogs chasing after him, and he's just not fast enough. It's a snowy day in insert town name here, and he trips on a rock. Larry gets onto his knees expecting death at any moment, but it doesn't. Sure, his friend Lily shows up to shoo the dogs away, but was I ever really concerned? No. We get the typical physical introduction for Lily, but unlike most, she actually has heterochromia. One blue eye and one green. Wow! Lily saw Larry approaching from her window, and neither of them really know why dogs always chase after him. Weird. The reason Larry's carrying this guitar is because Lily's house is the site of band practice, with their other friends Manny, Jared, and Christina. Jared is also the second character I've seen in one of these books wearing a Raiders hat. Is R.L. Stine a Raiders fan? I hope he hasn't been watching them this season. In any case, the group likes to rage bait Larry by calling him Hairy Larry because he wears his hair long and wavy, which, in the 90s, had to have been a bit less common for boys to do these days. The kids spend a few hours practicing for the Battle of the Bands in 2 weeks, and it eventually sounds good, at least from Larry's perspective, and he's a perfectionist. Leaving the house, the friends play in the snow, and Larry notices a pile of trash by the neighbor's house. He just loves junk, so he can't help but dig through it. He yells out to his friends and brings over an orange bottle labeled Insta-Tan. They're all instantly enamored by the fact that the neighbors would throw out a full bottle of this stuff, which, as the label says, gives you a dark tan in minutes. They question its ability to actually tan you so fast, but Lily says they wouldn't sell a product if it didn't work. Oh, you poor innocent soul. Everybody moves to Lily's bathroom and puts it all over themselves, but then Larry checks the label. Oh no! So this stuff expired in 1991, about 3 years ago if we assume this book takes place when it released. Everyone laughs though. What's the worst that can happen? So not wanting to be looked at as a chicken, Larry pours it on himself too. Everybody sits around waiting for the tan to work until Manny starts screaming, "My face! It's falling off! My skin! My skin!" He holds up a glob of his own skin for everyone to see, but then he laughs. It was actually just a wet tissue. It seems this tanning liquid didn't work at all, as expected regardless of the expiration date. The kids have a snowball fight until Larry starts to feel sick. What's happening? We cut right to the doctor's office where Larry's getting a comically large injection with a green liquid. Apparently every 2 weeks he needs a shot for his sweat gland problem. Perhaps Botox treatment was a lot worse in the 90s. Or this doctor isn't very trustworthy. On the way home, Larry asks if he looks tan, and his mom thinks he must be insane, so I guess it didn't work. At home, Larry does some channel surfing while talking to Lily about the Battle of the Bands coming up. Once that's over, he does homework and gets ready for bed. But when he goes to brush his teeth, he sees the back of his hand is covered in hair. Looks like the Insta-Tan was actually minoxidil in disguise. It doesn't even fall off, and he tugs as hard as he can but can't get it away. You would think it would hurt trying to tear your hair out, but he doesn't say that. His biggest concern is embarrassment. That nickname Hairy Larry has taken a whole new meaning. For now, it's only on his right hand, so he's got to get rid of it. He looks for some hair remover, but they don't have any. So his last resort is his dad's razor. It works really well, actually. So he wonders, how did this happen? The Insta-Tan for sure, but what about his friends? And why only his right hand? He wakes up happy that it hasn't started growing anywhere else. He tells his parents what he did at breakfast, or at least I wish he did, but he just says that's what he wanted to say, but confessing it would be too embarrassing. On his way to school, he finds Lily and has to awkwardly ask her if she's been growing any strange hair lately. Yes. On her hands, her arms, legs, back, her face. She's a werewolf. She laughs at him for believing that story, and he really did up until the werewolf part. She calls him Hairy Larry and asks if he grew hair on his hand because why would he ask? He wants to tell her, but apparently Lily is the local gossip girl, so he just plays coy. At school, it's book report day, and Larry has to keep letting us know how easily embarrassed he gets, how his face turns red, everyone laughs at him, we get it. Resident bully, popular kid Howie does a terrible report on a baseball book, but his ego is so great it carries him to an A. On Larry's turn, Howie does the classic stick a foot out and trip move, hitting the whole class to laugh. But that's not what Larry's thinking about. His hands are covered in hair. No one seems to notice his hands over how funny the tripping was, so Larry hides them in his jeans and excuses himself. He runs to the hallway to see them entirely covered in hair, at least an inch long, the palms, the fingers, everything. He tries to think of what to do until he notices the principal staring right at him. Larry instinctively hides his hands, but it's too late. Luckily for him, though, the principal thinks he's wearing gloves. This gives him an idea, and he runs to his locker to slip on some leather gloves. I don't know how they fit with how thick the hair is, but it works, and he wears them the rest of the day to keep his hands concealed. He tries to leave school quietly, but he gets caught by Lily, who reminds him about band practice. Larry just says he doesn't feel good, which is mostly true, and he asks to postpone it. At home, he lies to Mom about having too much homework, but then he can't take it. He just blurts out the entire truth and looks up for her reaction. But Mom was on the phone this whole time. She didn't hear a word he said. He turns and goes to his room, and his cat Jasper follows. He says, "Man, you're the only friend I have," and gives her a hug. But Jasper just snarls and jumps away. He's not mad though, it must be these hairy paws scaring her. He goes back to the bathroom to shave it all off, cutting himself a few times because of how thick and annoying this hair has become. The next morning, he's happy to see there's no new hair growth. At night, he dreamt that he ate spaghetti that turned into noodles of long black hair. Yuck! He decides with no new hair anywhere, it's safe to go to school, with the gloves on standby. But when he starts walking, here come the dogs. Larry assumes the dogs must smell Jasper on him, so we finally have a potential reason for why these dogs love to chase him. He finds Lily and Jared on the sidewalk, and while he wants to keep running, the other two don't move. The dogs stop in front of the group, and they all do a good job shooing the dogs away. Jared even laughs at the scrawny dog with black fur, saying it looks just like Manny. How funny. They meet Christina at school, and Larry casually mentions the Instatan, hoping to see if anyone else got weird hair growth. No one else mentions hair, though, so he keeps it to himself because either everyone's too embarrassed to say it, or he's the only one, and that's even worse. They start talking about band practice, and wind blows Larry's hood back. When he pulls it back up, hair! Jared asks if the scarf is too tight. The scarf? Oh, that's right. Mom made Larry wear his great-aunt's hand-knitted scarf to school, and he thought it was fur. The school day passes with Larry trying not to think about hair, until gym class. Basketball today, something Larry usually doesn't like, but he thinks, hey, it'll loosen up the muscles a bit, stress reliever, you know? So he starts taking his pants off and whoa, I don't like where this is going. Hair everywhere! So yeah, there was hair on his knees, so he left the jeans on during gym. He played really well today though, so at least that's something. Another afternoon spent shaving and more questions. I've taken multiple showers over the past few days, and I never even used it on my legs. Did this Instatan have some kind of virus that spread through me? He's completely lost, but time for band practice. Everyone's wondering where Manny is. In fact, he hasn't been to school for the past 2 days. They haven't been able to call him either, so they all decided to take a trip to his house. Lily interrupts, however, to say that Jared and Christina should stay here to practice, in case Manny shows up on his own. It may seem like Lily just did a power move to get her and Larry alone together, but really she just starts talking about how deafening the sound of dripping water is when snow starts to melt. Okay. At his house, no one answers the door, but a few hard knocks actually makes the door swing open. Weird. They step inside to find nothing. Manny's house is completely barren. No furniture, no carpet, nothing. Did they have to move? Who knows? Then Larry goes on a monologue about running. Not to Lily, I guess we moved forward to Saturday. But yes, he loves running and jogging with his dad on Saturday mornings. He decides today to finally tell somebody what's going on. His dad is initially pretty calm, but when Larry starts mentioning hair, Dad gets pissed. He starts practically pulling Larry along. We have to go now. Back to the doctor's office, and because he's here, the doctor just says, I know it's early, but why not give you the comically large shot already? That's a totally good idea. The doctor makes sure to mention the hair growth could not have possibly happened from the tanning lotion, which is a relief, I suppose, but he doesn't actually prescribe anything. It seems the only option is to just wait to see if it happens again. At band practice, Manny is, as expected, still gone. They even asked friends of Manny's parents, and they didn't even know he was moving. With one less member, though, The band of four starts to sound a little bit clearer. Larry's mind isn't really into it, though. This hair business has him feeling the 5 stages of grief. Now he decides it's time to confide in his friends. Once practice is over, he lets it all out, embarrassed to hell. It only gets worse when Jared and Christina laugh their asses off calling him Hairy Larry. Lily looks troubled, though, and doesn't say anything. He tries to cover it up as a dumb joke, but he wonders, maybe Lily has the same problem. If she didn't, she'd probably be laughing with everybody else. Everyone eventually leaves, Lily not wanting to talk, and Larry heading out into the cold wind. He tries to pull his baseball cap down, but oh no, hair! He runs home to show his parents the hair, but no one's home. They left a note that they're going shopping. Great. I really wonder how Goosebumps books are going to work when we get to the age of smartphones and social media. Think of how easy it would be to shut down most of these situations. Anyway, Larry goes to the bathroom to look at this bandana of hair covering his forehead. It hurts to shave off, but he does it anyway. His only idea now is to find the Insta-Tan bottle, then maybe the doctor can look at it and find some weird allergic ingredient. He leaves the house heading back to the dumpster near Lily's house, but as you'd expect, it's been emptied. So now what? Oh, well, silly me. It seems Larry here forgot to mention they didn't actually put it in the trash. He littered the thing by tossing it into the woods. Not too far, he remembers, but it's a bit dark and wet, and it's been a while, so not much luck finding it. Then a branch snaps. Something's here. Larry looks down and sees the bottle, then back up and sees a dog. The dog is whimpering and seems to be alone. It's so dark, but Larry's really hoping at least a tiny bit is left for the doctor to use, like he's supposed to be a chemist or something. He starts to leave but notices a whole pack of dogs appear behind the other. He runs and stumbles over a branch, causing the bottle to fly out, hit a rock, and shatter. Didn't even know it was made out of glass, to be honest, but now he's really screwed. The dogs go chase a rabbit, and Larry goes home feeling like a real sorry-ass bitch. Jasper doesn't want to be petted, Lily doesn't answer the phone, looking at homework starts giving him double vision, just a bad day. He decides to play his guitar, the one thing that calms him down, but he keeps messing up. He looks down to see why. More hair. All over his hands, arms, entire face. I don't know how he never notices it growing. It's like instant. Can he feel a temperature or a texture shift? Is Larry missing some of his 5 senses? On Monday now, he's freshly shaven and kitted up in a long sleeve and a hat to prevent any potential hair from showing. So far, he's been really good at keeping this a secret from everybody. Right now, he's waiting at Lily's locker to talk to her. If she's going through the same thing, they can both prove it to the doctor together. But she's not here. A voice calls out to Larry, but it's just Howie, asking him if he's ready for tomorrow. You know, tomorrow, the Battle of the Bands. Howie's a part of his own band, along with Marissa, another popular kid from school. So Lily never came to school, and Larry wants to go check on her, but he remembers his mom needs him to do chores. Then he notices a dog following him. It brushes up against his leg, medium-sized, one he's never seen before. It follows him all the way home, and when he meets with Mom, she tells him to check the collar. When he bends down, that's no collar. It's Lily's gold pirate coin, an heirloom she keeps with her. Larry starts freaking out, but Mom calms him down. It has to be some other kind of coin. Right. But then Larry looks up. The dog's eyes. They're blue and green. It's Lily, he yells out. The dog barks and starts running, so Larry chases after it. He runs the full 3 blocks right to Lily's house, only to find her parents packing up to leave. He asks about if Lily's there, but you must have the wrong house. There's nobody named Lily. Larry bursts out laughing, purely insane at this point. Lily's mom grabs his shoulders and repeats, "There is no Lily," but she's crying as she says it. The hell's going on here? At dinner, Mom and Dad say nothing about her, and he calls Jared and Christina over, lying that Lily just went away somewhere. Larry silently blames himself for everything. This must be the Insta-Tan's fault, and he's ready to give up on the band, but Christina rallies them all to keep trying, until she looks at Larry. "What the hell is on your forehead?" "It's spaghetti sauce." Somehow that happened over dinner. They practice a little and promise each other not to get sick before the performance. The next day, Larry's band, The Geeks, watches Howie and the Shouters have all this cool equipment. Not only that, but they do the best cover of Johnny B. Goode a middle school band can do. They even get 2 encores, so that's a tough act to follow. They get through I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles, emphasis on they got through it. Next up is an undetermined Rolling Stones song, and while Larry messes up his solo at first, he gets the feel of it, and people start to cheer. People point and say, "Great special effects." Huh? He reaches up to see he's covered in hair. They won. The embarrassing secret is out, but everyone just thought it was special effects. It gave them the win by default, but Larry's out the door before he can even grab the trophy. He runs home and shows his parents his hairy body. Believe me now? His parents say it's not the tanning lotion. It's time to reveal the truth. Larry, you're a dog. So it's been 2 weeks since Larry turned back into his real dog identity. It seems that Dr. Merkin is more like Dr. Birkin from Resident Evil. This entire town is a sort of fake testing lab for a serum that makes dogs become human children. But in the years of research, despite bi-weekly injections, the serum is not permanent. And because of eventual moral problems and guilt, he has decided to completely stop working with dogs ever again. Larry and Lily, remember, dogs now, run up to Mom and Dad to see them carrying a new baby daughter. Welcome to your new home, Jasper. So he's working on cats now. There is no morality when it comes to genetic experimentation. This book was quite a ride. The over-reliance on, suddenly, hair, as every single twist was a bit annoying, but I enjoyed the way Larry was characterized. When Jared sees the dog that looks exactly like Manny, you could probably immediately tell what was going on. But the twist is about as wild as Camp Nightmare's Earth Invasion testing facility. As a concept itself, growing hair is not scary, at all. But experimenting on dogs to turn them into human kids? Gross. But does this concept make for a good episode? The episode starts with Larry narrating over this 90s synth guitar track, venting about how much running from dogs pisses him off. He says the dogs can't climb trees, untrue, and falls off this branch. Lily shoos the dogs away as usual, though you can already tell the acting and dubbing in this episode is going to be something to behold.
Maybe they smell your fear.
Gee, thanks. Like I needed to hear that.
The geeks are actually horrendous, and I suppose Christina has been excluded from the experiment.
Keyboard solo! Jared. What?
Manny is the one to find the instant tan, and he's eager to try it despite not really needing it. When he finds out it's expired in 1991, my favorite Goosebumps scene of all time appears.
Ah! My skin! Look! My skin!
There's just something so beautiful about how bad the dubbing is for Larry. He passes out and the doctor comes to inject him right in the comfort of his own home. In this, the excuse is just allergies. Blanket term for everything. Tan doesn't work, Jasper gets scared, and oh my, hair! The show has the amazing idea to make the razor electric, so he has to do this goofy-ass humming over it to hide it from his parents. Dad even asks for the razor himself as if he's not freshly shaven and...
Can a guy get some privacy?
Larry quickly mentions the hair to Lily, which goes exactly how you'd expect. 12-year-olds talking about growing hair in weird places makes this seem like the most unsubtle metaphor for puberty, but I really don't know if Stein was even bothered to think about that.
Maybe you...
I what?
Growing hair in weird places. Never mind.
Hairy Larry. Hair on his head, hair on his mind.
Manny is already gone, and this realtor is just hiding in Manny's closet for some reason. Larry has dinner at Lily's house, and now is when the hair has struck once again. A little piece ends up on Dad's corn, and Larry just slaps that shit out of his hand instead of just telling him there was hair on it. He makes the good excuse that he's about to shit his pants and notices his Bigfoot arms in the mirror. He actually wants to shave inside of Lily's house, super disrespectful, but her dad doesn't have a razor there, good for them. The next choice is to either embarrass himself or jump down into the group of dogs. Of course he chooses the dogs and runs home. He starts checking for more hair and lo and behold, it's on his legs. Again, he reveals his issue pretty easily again. No need to try and convince anyone it's real. The doctor acts suspicious already, and the injection seems to have taken care of the hair for now. The next morning, he immediately finds Lily outside, and oh man, that is the fakest blue eye ever. There is no Lily, you get it. He tells his parents, and they look suspicious as hell trying to hide the truth. He runs all the way to band practice, sees that Jared is a dog now, starts growing hair again, runs all the way back home. He's practically a full-blown Planet of the Ape now. We cut right to Larry being a dog again, eating a cookie. Oh look, he's the dog from the intro. Then he just explains the entire twist from the end. Just as weird and out of nowhere as before. Little baby Jasper, ah! So yeah, that was worse. Extremely short, just a big what the hell. The outcome was the same, but like, what? 20 minutes of bad acting, the band practice was irrelevant. I like that they tried to play into the whole suspicious activity, because in the book there was really no way to tell until the end, but still. Hey, so we're actually all dogs being experimented on to turn dogs into humans. Honestly, it's a good twist, but I just wanted more out of it. So is your child actually a dog? Is your dog actually a child? Find out all the answers and more in the next episode, A Night in Terror Tower.